Mo, you said before the game when we was coming up in the car, you said you think it would be about 3-1 or worse.
I said City are going to score minimum 3, and Arsenal are going to score maximum 1.
I was actually thinking about you when it was 1-1 because I was like, I bet Mo's, we weren't stood together, I was going, I bet Mo's somewhere thinking, you know what, hold on a minute. Arsenal playing all right. They're making City really have to work. Well, City were looking very edgy for a bit.
Yeah, I think we did have a good spell in the game in the first half, and I was surprised. I thought this was a hell of a lot better than what I was expecting. And when I saw the lineup, I wasn't a big fan of the lineup. I felt as though, when you're playing 2 strikers, for them to not be anonymous in the game, you need someone to link the play to them. And for me, based on the lineup, that is Iwobi. He was going to be the ball carrier. The rest were more defensively minded. And I didn't see how it was going to work. But then in the first half, I thought, actually, do you know what? We're not doing too badly here. And obviously, we got the goal against a runner players from a set piece. But then, look, City do what City do. And I think none of us can say it was an unfair result. They deserve to win.
No, it wasn't an unfair result. But I'm saying for a period of that, when we got that goal, and then after that, they looked so nervy. We were running at them. We were causing them a lot of problems. They were just putting in that tackle to save things and stuff like that, and then right on half-time, the killer goal.
Yeah, exactly. And look, when you analyse the goals that City scored, it will be hugely culpable for the first one because, it's not even like they had the ball and you're having to try and mark.
He's giving him a head start, isn't he?
Yeah, he had the ball, and he just made the wrong decision in a defensive area. And then the second goal, Lichtsteiner, when Sterling got that ball for their second goal, I thought he was going to run at Lichtsteiner, and then he didn't. He passed it. As soon as that ball left his foot, he was on the move for the 1-2. It was so well rehearsed. Aguero peeling to the far post, and it was almost like they scripted it. Absolutely brilliant play. But you have to look at Lichtsteiner and say, look, Sterling's your man. When Sterling has played that ball, why are you just running to the ball? You're not a dog, okay? You don't get drawn to the ball that easily. You've got to keep an eye on your man, and he didn't. But then also we've got to ask, Aguero is one of the standout strikers in this league, and we have let him be open and free in the area repeatedly. We've got 3 centre-backs today, and none of them have taken responsibility for him, and that is unforgivable. If you're going to do that, you are going to get battered.
We got battered in the end. I've been asking, like a lot of people, this question today. Tonight in America, Super Bowl final, our owner, remember, has managed to take a team that he took from St. Louis, take them to LA, and he's managed to build it. They've never been nowhere near the Super Bowl for forever. And he's managed to take that team and get them to the Super Bowl final. What does he have to do to get us to the equivalent, which would be to get us to winning the Premier League, to get us to come here and compete? What does the owner have to do?
Well, look, before we start talking about what he has to do, I think there's just some basics that we need to be doing, and the owner doesn't even have any involvement in this. You don't let your players leave on a free. Aaron Ramsey being wasted. Your recruitment needs to be a hell of a lot more sensible. Players like Lichtsteiner and Cech are on a hell of a lot of money right now.
When I was reading about his Super Bowl success, everybody around, even the manager of the club, and they said it's down to him. It's his vision. It's what he's done. He's so meticulous. He's so interested.
Well, look, obviously, Robbie, the easy answer is you stick your money into it. You put your money into it. I don't know about that business model. I don't know what he's done, whether he's put his own money into it. But look,
it's not just been money.
But I honestly, I don't really care about what they're doing and how he's achieved that. I care about Arsenal, and we haven't got an owner that is going to invest capital in this club. We just have to accept that. That's the way it is, And what we have to do as a result of that, because we've got less resources than Sheikh Mansour, and the way he plows it into City, we need to make sure that the resources we have got, we use them wisely, and we're not using them wisely.
You're an accountant.
Carl Jenkinson on 50k a week.
You're an accountant, Mo. Can we ever win the Premier League with a self-sustaining model?
Man, listen,
you're an accountant.
Yeah, but listen, this isn't an accountant.
You're the money man.
I don't.
Right, so
man,
self-sustaining model. Can it work?
When we set out on this self-sustaining model, I was fully behind it, and I wanted a self-sustaining model, and it was the right thing to do. Football has changed now, and when we choose a self-sustaining model, what we're doing is saying, okay, fine, we're going to give you a head start. That's what we're doing now. If there's nothing wrong anymore in football. Like, obviously the victory is sweeter if you do it self-sustaining, but there's nothing wrong in terms of the rules of football if the owner plows capital injections in. So on that basis, we're already at a massive disadvantage if we're going to self-sustaining, so therefore I want to scrap that business model. That's what I would do. If this is probably a bit too accountancy specific and boring for most people, but if I was Dan Kroenke, what I would do is that I'd say, look, I've got 100% shares in the club. I would do a rights issue on the shares and get capital in. Yeah, that wouldn't breach financial fair play, and I would dilute my ownership to, like, let's say 92% or something like that. It's not going to make any tangible difference. I can pass special resolutions. I can do whatever the hell I want. If I wanted to change the name of the club, I can still do that with that level of ownership. And with that, you could free up a hell of a lot of money to go and invest in the transfer window. And I'll say, do you know what? We've got a new manager. I'm going to back him with this. You can't do this all the time. This would be a one-off. So I'd let a few random people out there own a few shares purely to get that money to put into the squad. Because now we do need to play catch-up. Man City, Liverpool, they're miles ahead of us. Man United, for example, so much more resources, much deeper pockets. So I'd do something. I would have to say to myself, is it realistic that we're going to bridge that gap doing it the way we're doing it? Or do we need to do something that's kind of a bit innovative, a bit novel? And that's what I'd have to do. So for me, that would be the one. But remember, listen, I want to say one thing, right, before we finish this. We spent the whole journey up here arguing, and I'm going to have another argument with you now. I've heard you give Iwobi some stick today, saying he didn't help out Lichtsteiner. I completely disagree. Iwobi had the hardest task out of all of the players on the pitch today, and I actually think he did help Lichtsteiner a hell of a lot. If you look at a heat map of Iwobi today, I'm sure you'll see he was effectively playing as our right back for so much of it, because Lichtsteiner was kind of coming inside. And as you say, they targeted that flank. He wasn't effective.
Neither of them.
Yeah, but I'm
not just blaming him, but
listen,
he was ineffective today.
I've admitted Iwobi was culpable for the first goal and partly culpable for the third goal, but in terms of his work rate, in terms of how much protection he tried to give Lichtsteiner, I actually thought he really did try. What's
your argument?
My argument is lay off Iwobi, because
you just said he was culpable for the first goal,
he made mistakes,
and the third goal.
But you've said in interviews today he didn't offer protection, and he did.
Well, you just said yourself he's culpable for the first goal and the
the
third goal.
His decision making wasn't right. He's not in an area of the pitch that he usually finds himself in, but in terms of the job that he tried to do, you're questioning his work rate. That's what you were saying. You were questioning his work rate. And what I'm saying is I've got sympathies. I've got sympathies with Iwobi. He had the toughest job on the pitch today, trying to be that ball carrier to link midfield to attack, and also to try and help Lichtsteiner, our weak link. He had way too much to do, and I think there was too much asked of him today. And given how much difficulty there was in his role today, do you know what? Actually, I thought, aside from especially that first mistake, aside from that, he did all right.